I think understanding the politics in how extractives are governed is really looking at the realities. So you can have the theory and you can have the policies and you can have the institutional structures, but it is actually politics that informs the dynamics and changes how things actually operate on the ground. And an example I'd like to give is in the dynamics between national and local, and the interplay of four players, which is the national government, the local level governments, the communities and the companies, and how politics really affects the dynamics amongst all the four stakeholders. So in theory, the national government has to transfer the revenues that it gets from the extraction of extractives to the local levels, which in turn should be distributed amongst the communities and also for local government sort of development efforts. In practice, in many developing countries, that doesn't happen. And then as a company, you are caught in the midst of that issue. And in a resource-constrained environment for government, where there are huge shortfalls in budget, the government then turns to the company and expects the company to play a public sector delivery role, both in the provision of public sector services and also in the provision of infrastructure. But companies are not qualified to do that. And of course, there is recognition that companies have to do more than just what is contractually obliged, the whole social responsibility to operate. But when the company becomes almost a sole entity in the provision of public services, and everybody looks to the company to provide that, whether it's communities who are extremely poor, whether it's local governments who are looking to get votes for the next election and deliver to their constituencies, and in a way central governments who have not actually fulfilled their obligations, they expect all that to come to the company, and the only way that goes is wrong. And I think understanding, redrawing those boundaries, but also understanding what the limits are for each player and what does shared responsibility mean in that context becomes really important, because that acknowledges the politics within the policy and institutional environment in which you have to operate.